Yeah guys, welcome to the channel in which I share my journey along the wealth ladder from having a day job until earning enough money, achieving financial freedom and buying a tourist ticket to space. And the next step along this journey is to create a service business. So a service is an act or use for which another person pays you. It takes most often the form of consulting or education. And I will start doing to create a services business with the $100 challenge of Justin Welsh. So this means until the end of this month, 31st of May, I will earn $100 with a new service business. To learn more about my story and how I came up with this YouTube channel, watch my first video here. And what we are going to discuss today is two things. So how to get started with this $100 challenge, what is it, what are the first steps, and one extra step which I think makes a lot of sense. So everybody of us has a certain skill set and you feel like you want to fulfill your potential better. Follow me along this journey where I share every tool, strategy and framework I use to come from this thought that I'm not fulfilling my potential and that there's lots of things I can do better, to creating successful businesses and eventually achieving financial freedom, which in this case means I would buy a ticket to space. This is the $100 challenge of Justin Welsh. Why should you care? Who is this guy? He's a solopreneur, which means he's a one-person business and it's going quite good. So he has $6.7 million dollars in revenue at a 90% profit margin. As you can see, huge followings on LinkedIn and Twitter on his newsletter, and I'm also in his newsletter, and there he shared, I think beginning of this year, the $100 challenge to make $100 online. I'm going to do it a bit extended. I think I will take like 3 weeks, but yeah, the time frame doesn't really matter. What matters is that you get started, that you do the things he's proposing here, which basically means that you try to identify a problem which you can solve with your skills, and then craft a solution, make people aware of the solution, and create an online funnel on how to get these people from more or less cold lead or warm lead to a hot lead and a person which will buy your product or service. And in this case, in my case, it will be a service, right? Yeah, so basically this whole journey starts, as I said, with figuring out where am I good at, what can I offer, or what is my skill set, and what problems I can solve with this skill set. Challenge has 6 steps, but I added like a first one. And the first step I would recommend somebody to do is to do an IKIGAI. An IKIGAI is basically as you can see here, finding a common thing about 4 different areas. And the areas are what you love, what you are good at, what you can be paid for, and what the world needs. And it's a concept, I guess, from Japan. It's fluid, so it can change over time. So one of the concepts I think most promising to make the match between something you like and something that other people want to pay you for. And yeah, I can recommend this video or here in the description. It's basically like a 5-minute video which explains the Ikigai and invites you to pause for 3 minutes on each stage and fill out everything. A few prompts which are really good. And then you might end up with this here, as you can see on the screen, like a full notebook full of ideas about these different concepts. And then when you know your Ikigai, or like a rough concept of your Ikigai, I would recommend you come back to this challenge, $100 challenge, and just get started. And it's a customer-centric approach. So with the skill set you identified, what problem in which area do you want to be, more or less? For me, sales, user experience, maybe design thinking. And then what are the problems people experience in these fields? And what is the problem people pay you for? This is basically the first step of this $100 challenge. And he recommends to do this by, first of all, really stay in this problem space. Don't think about solutions. Think about the problem, and then find common problems there. Or maybe you have an idea of a problem and then try to evaluate if this problem is really big enough that people would pay for it. And he suggests getting into conversations, getting into LinkedIn threads, into maybe, Reddit threads, or school communities. Just find something where people you think talk about this, about the problem, and then ask questions like, what's the biggest challenge you're facing with regards to X, Y, Z? I will show you in a minute how I did it, but this is basically the starting point, and then you get information, then you decide if you want to, if this problem you think is so pressing. And it's just a framework. I don't know if it's the best one, but I think it's pretty easy to start. And he also highlights it here. He doesn't want us to start off with big plans like making $500. It's like wanting to lose 100 pounds in January. The goal is too big and we get discouraged too quick. And I'm here to tell you, he says, that all or nothing is the best approach in an online business. And instead, we want to ask the question, what would we do if we needed to make $100 online in the next 7 days? And that's it basically. Now I come to my approach. And my approach so far. So I talked about the IKIGAI. I think makes very much sense to think about what you can offer if you're not sure yet. If you know it, it's already great. Then I call it from problems to a service solution. It's basically like the first steps I just outlined of Justin Welsh. For me, this resulted in like 2 broad categories. The first one is about design thinking. And so I try to phrase it from the perspective of the people who experiences the problem. So for example, he or she might say, I want to learn about design thinking, or I need someone who can facilitate teams or innovation teams or teams that innovate. And then on the other hand, I think many coaches especially, and I also have noticed this in my internship here where I worked with many coaches, work with word of mouth to get new clients, but other than word of mouth, they often can't attract clients, so they use maybe digital tools, use content, and maybe have like a website, but at least what I see, there's great potential. There's not often a strategy on, for example, what a certain post should lead to, like a call to action, or just a common goal of all the content. I feel like it's just like, I've been doing this workshop and I've been doing this workshop without like a content. And I don't know, with my experience in sales, I think my eyes just lighted up a bit more. If I would go into a situation where such a coach experiences these problems, I think I could be able to help them. So the hypothesis is that people actually want to be helped there and they can offer my services to this market. And I want to challenge this, right? So it's all about trying to validate if this is really a worthwhile problem so that you don't go too far. You just jump into the solution and just build it, and then you notice, okay, this. So to finish this video up, what did I do to validate if this is something people would pay me for? I did 2 things. I did the desktop research, which basically is like using Google and using like online sources. And then I'm still in the process of reaching out to people and scheduling interviews or jumping into these conversations as Justin Welsh suggested. So let's just quickly go over the desktop research. So I already see that the typical coach consultant struggles to sell, cannot articulate their value. ChatGPT said the number one problem freelance coaches have is acquiring new clients. So here's some proof already. Then I came about this term sales experience design, which I definitely want to explore further. It's basically the sum of design thinking, experience design, service design, and UX writing. And so it's basically to generate leads, to make sales, use all these skill sets, which I think many of them have, and which I think is very interesting. Then I went into the Facilitator Club. It's like a school community where facilitators and workshoppers are. I looked a bit on what other people are asking there. I also wrote my own question, kind of telling the story I did with the meetup group. And the whole goal is to understand what's the biggest challenge these people face with regards to attracting new clients for their coaching or services. I didn't want to say it directly because they also have kind of strict rules on what you are allowed to post, and you should always give some value. So I didn't want to just put these questions directly, but I tried to get to answer these questions with other people, like with people in one-on-one, because I'm also, one of my strengths is relator. So it means that I just in one-on-ones I feel way better and really enjoy having deep conversations, and I 100% can say that this is true. So yeah, the school community also have 2 people which I'm probably talking to in the next weeks, which I didn't know before. Then I will use my own network. I wrote some names here down, like probably will ask Tony Robbins or Elon. Let's see. But just understand better if these people really face this problem, and just see how they solve it, and if I can maybe build a service solution out of it. Yeah, that's it for now. And we'll end with that. I see you in the next video, and ciao.